Hey guys, what's going on, and welcome to this Beachstart tutorial here on my YouTube channel. As you can see, it's quite windy. I've got my windsurf board here, right there's my sail and there's a lake. And what we're gonna do is we will go to the water and I will show you in practice exactly step by step how you can do the beach start. The beach start is not only important because it looks cool, much better than using the uphole, but it's also very important when you're starting in difficult conditions. For example, when you have a rocky beach or there are big waves, onshore breaking waves and stuff like this. And if you're new to this YouTube channel, feel free to subscribe. I upload new windsurf content pretty much every week on this channel. So yeah, you're welcome to join the community. And I would say, let's go. So first things first, guys, never forget your harness. Before we get on the water comes the first important part, which is carrying the gear. So guys, when we want to carry our gear to the water, the best thing to do is to have it in the right position straight away, so the maneuvering in the water is limited to a minimum. And what you can see is we have here a side shore wind. The wind comes from the left. And what we now want to do is place the mast of our sail 90 degrees to the wind, so we can carry our board with the nose ahead into the water and have the sail straight away in the position where we can do a beach start. The whole thing works as the following. You take your board. I have here my slalom board, in case you're wondering, and it's also my slalom sail. So your sail and board might look a little bit different, but the technique is exactly the same. And this is the position that you want to have your equipment in when the wind is coming from this direction, because like this it's stable on the beach and so on. And now you can just go ahead, place your right hand on the boom, left hand on your front foot strap, and lift up your equipment. And like this, it's perfectly stable. The wind is carrying your sail a little bit and also your board. And when we now go into the water, it's all going to be in the right position. But of course, I will now also show you the big magic trick, how you can maneuver your board into the right position in the water. So guys, as you can see, the water is around hip deep. This is perfect, of course, depending a little bit also on your fin size, but you want the water to be pretty much as shallow as possible without damaging your fin. And now you're probably in the water and you're wondering how to do the beach start. I will now give you a very practical example. Everything looks pretty much like this, complete mess. And now what you want to do first is bring your board into the right starting position, because if you have that starting position, then the beach start itself, it's just a simple step. And this is also how it is later with the water start. So of course, first thing that you do is you go to the mast of your sail. This is always how you maneuver your sail, because the sail body is always going to follow the mast. So when I'm now pulling my sail with the mast, the sail is leaving the water. It's really simple. And if you have a little bit of wind, it becomes much easier. Where I am right here is not so much wind. But what you want to do is pull your sail up and get that mast again 90 degrees to the wind. And now if you take a look at the board, you can see the big problem that most people have when they're trying to learn their beach start, because the board is twisted. And now if I would try to, get up here, it would become really hard. Maybe I could manage if I had a little bit of wind. And now, guys, comes the top secret of how you maneuver your board in the water. What you want to do is you want to imagine that you steer your board like you're steering a car. So let me explain real quick, because this is really important and really simple once you get it. So the fin basically represents the rear end of your car, where the back tires are. And your mast base represents the front of the car, where you have the steering. And now if you let your imagination play a little bit, then you know, of course, that the back of your car is always following the front. So when you're steering right, the back of your car will go to the right. If you're steering left and you're going straight, everything will follow pretty much. And now it becomes really important, if you're going backwards, this, of course, happens the opposite way. You all know how a car works, how it is with your bicycle. If you move it backwards and you steer, the back wheel will go into the opposite direction as your front wheel. And this, exactly like this, it happens with your board. So now I will show you guys how you maneuver your board. So in this case, with the board like this, I want the back of my board, of course, to be as close to me as possible. And I want to turn my board. And as you just learned, the back of the board follows the front of the board. So I just move forward a little bit and now we have the board like this, and then now you want to give it the last little turn. So we move it to the left, and boom, there you go. And now, of course, you can help it a little bit with your knees, but basically now you have it in the perfect position. And now like this, you would be able to do your beach start. And I will give you another example, just so you understand it as good as possible. And we will completely turn the board into the wrong direction. And you can try this yourself, of course. You have to try it yourself, otherwise you will not learn. So as you can see, the board is now again completely twisted, and the back of the board will again follow the mast track. So I move it to the left, and now I can do a little bit of a circle movement. Woo. And this is how you move your board in the water. And later on, when you will practice the water start in deeper waters, it works exactly like this. Of course, here is right now a little bit lighter wind. If you have more wind, it becomes even easier. But this is the first thing that you do. Now, why do you do it? You do it because you want to get the back of your board as close as possible to your body. And what you will do from here is you will put your back foot on the board and then pull the board below your body, make your arms long, and then stand up. Now I just need to find a little bit of wind so I can show you how it works. So guys, the next step is that you want to feel the wind in your sail. This right now is really tough actually for myself, because we are in sort of a bay here and there's not so much wind, and you want the wind to carry your sail. And right there I see a little gust, so that's going to be beautiful. So you could, in theory, you know, hold your sail with just one arm, and the other arm holds the back of your board. Now the next step is that you want to try and get the board even closer, and you do that by lifting up your arms and letting the wind pull up your sail. So what you're going to do when the wind hits the sail is you place your back foot on the board and you just pull the board below your body and you stand up. And this is pretty much the entire movement. Ooh. It's a little bit gusty here. Was ist das für eine Scheiße hier, ey? Okay guys, as you just saw, the beach start itself is just, you know, a simple step after you've put all your equipment in the right place. And now in the end, I want to talk about a few things that you might encounter when you try your first beach start. So the first thing is you manage to step on your board, which is not the tough part, and then you fall straight over to the other side because you feel overpowered. The reason for that is quite simple. When you're doing a beach start, you're pretty much standing still. So once you get power in your sail, that power cannot be, you know, directly transformed into speed. So when you can't manage that in the beginning, you just fall over. And the really simple trick for that is you open your sail at the time you stand up on your board. You can do that all the time, by the way. It's not a big thing. You can also let go of your backhand and then re-grab it. And this allows you basically to depower the sail once you stand up on your board. And then when you get the power back in, you can do it, you know, with a little bit of feeling, and you get going and you can start. The next case is the underpowered case. So you're doing your beach start and you fall to the back. And this is what usually happens when you have conditions like I just had, when there's simply not enough wind and your sail can't, you know, hold you up. But this usually is also a sign that you didn't pull the board far enough under your body. So when you're falling to the back, when that's your tendency, what you can try is to pull your board further below your body when you're standing in the water. You can also go for more shallow water. And when you do that, your sail will be even more upright when you make the step onto your board. And the more upright your sail is, the more power, of course, the more leverage you will get. And this will make it easier for you to stand up. And the last point, guys, with all honesty, is you just have to go and practice, because there are maneuvers, like for example, the power jibes. You know, they are actually complicated. They take a long time to practice, but the beach start you can manage during your next session when you just try and pull that board below your body and you bring it all into the right position. And with that being said, I really hope you enjoyed this little tutorial. If so, Of course, you can leave me a thumbs up. You can subscribe to this YouTube channel to not miss any of the future videos. And the last thing is, if you need anything windsurf related, if you're looking for buying new windsurf equipment, you can check out our online surf shop, The Wind Lounge. It's linked down in the video description, and my team and I are very happy to help you. And I would say we see each other the next time. Bye-bye.